ready to rumble.
I don't really care about what they say. I'm gonna come back like a boomerang. You know that song?
Is it from a kid's thing?
Don't let those haters get their way. I'm gonna come back like a boomerang.
Is a song called
I'm
Boomerang.
gonna come back. I'm gonna come back. Yes, that's JoJo Siwa. You can look up that song,
Okay.
and I think you will love it because I can't get it out of my head.
Is it a step up or step down from Baby Shark?
I think it's a step up at this point. A good 5 years of Baby Shark. I'll take a JoJo Siwa throwback.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a comeback. I'm a comeback.
All right. Yep.
I'm Christine.
I'm Jamie.
And we're back.
We are.
Back like a boomerang. And we're here for, what's the book called? Glow. Part 1. And I don't know how we're all going to fit this all in. I had a lot of trouble. Doing my notes.
Yeah.
Not trouble. There's a lot of stuff, and as I was going over it, I'm like, I don't know, I can't cut anything.
I know, I was like, narrow it down, Jamie, narrow it down.
Get it together. We're gonna try.
Yes.
We're gonna try.
So, Glow, Raven Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. And we are in a different environment.
Yes, we are.
Like we said earlier, each book changes to a different
location.
A different location. So now we're in Deadwell. Mm-hmm. But before we get to that, let's talk tropes. Let's talk tropes.
So many tropes.
One of the reasons I thought of this was because I'm currently reading a book where I was like, this is the first time where, like, okay, I think I'm getting to know what tropes I like.
Oh.
So then what I'm reading is, like, enemies to lovers, fated mates, fake dating. I don't know what else. But at least those 3. I like those 3. That's what I know.
I also, yes, I love a good enemies to lovers.
And then I recently had one where it was a love triangle, and I hated it.
Yeah. I love a slow burn.
Mm-hmm. It's that, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be into, like, the love triangle. I'm trying to think of one that I've read who had it. I don't know how into it I would be.
I hated it.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll read that one and see how I feel. I'm trying to think of another one. No, don't read it. Okay. Not recommending it.
Because I just felt like, okay, we know who the person's going to end up with. And it just, like, this feels weird.
Is it like with Bella and Edward and Jacob?
Oh, that's it.
Right?
That's yeah, I guess that is a love triangle.
You know she's going to end up with Edward. And then I always just felt so bad for Jacob.
That's exactly what it was.
Okay.
Where you already know, and then you just are like, well, why are you playing into that other guy's that you know that you...
Yeah.
You know that you don't. You like the other one better. And we all know it. And so now you just seem like an asshole, and I'm not enjoying the journey because you just seem like an asshole and he's sad.
I'm sad. He's sad.
I'm not enjoying this.
That he's going to marry your daughter.
Well, Twilight took it a step further, for sure.
Took a turn.
For sure. Yeah.
Not a fan of that now that I think of it in that terms.
Mm-hmm.
I love forced proximity.
What is forced proximity?
I almost feel like it's like where they have to be, like, you know,
where the proximity is forced.
Yes. Like, oh, no, we're on this long journey, but there's only so many horses, and now we have to ride on this horse together for hours, and they're forced into touch.
Yes.
Like, that's how I take it as.
Yeah.
The one bed at the end, I love.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of, like, those type of ones.
Okay.
I like the found family.
Yep.
It's always a nice, little happy one. What else is there? Those are just ones that, like, I like.
And I don't know if this is a trope, but, like, obviously our whole podcast is we primarily, or I guess we only do this, which is like the heroine sort of saves the day, or is the, I don't even know what you call it.
Strong FMC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I like the Grumpy Sunshine. Morally Gray MMC.
Yes. Yes. I don't like the bully trope.
No.
Because I think there is a pocket of like enemies to lovers where enemies to lovers I don't like. Like there's like the
certain types
where it can be like if the male main character is too mean up front.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I know that something is gonna come of this, like romance is gonna come of this, but I can't get past with the initial fucked upness of it.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Right? When the person, what FMC is too mean to, or sorry, now I'm getting my
MMC.
The MMC is too mean to the FMC.
Yeah.
I can get past that. Where it's like if they're morally gray or whatever to other people.
Totally okay.
Yes.
Yes.
But like
Slade.
if I'm gonna believe the romance, it can't be too much.
Yeah.
So I did read a book too where it was too much.
And you're just like, no.
And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get past it.
Yeah, I need to believe in this love.
Yeah, and like I could believe that could happen. I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I do like the morally gray type of thing, but I feel like Slade's a perfect example.
Right, where he's never been unkind to her.
Yes.
Yeah, be a villain for everyone else. Fine.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm okay with that.
That's his thing. But you treat her like a princess.
Mm-hmm. What's another one? Kidnapping. I don't think I've read one that's kidnapping.
No. Did Reese kind of kidnap Farah? A little bit.
Blood and Ash?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kidnapping. Okay.
Okay, I like that one.
I'm bad about it. It all depends on which ones.
I think I like Fated Mates.
I like it.
I don't like too much. Like I can't read like too many in a row. Like I need it to spread out. Otherwise, it feels repetitive. I'll say even in SMJ or specifically the ACOTAR series, I feel like the Fated Mates thing is too much.
Yes, because then I'm like, it doesn't even feel special anymore.
Yeah,
that's why.
It feels like everyone gets a mate, and that the person that's left out, Asriel, it just feels sad. And
yeah.
You're just like, oh no, they're the only one that don't have one.
Yeah, like maybe have 2. Stop at 2.
But then I don't even like that either.
No, I know.
I'm like, why are you guys the only one that gets 2? Because then they're going to get together with someone and it's not their mate. And then they're going to be like, well, maybe in 100 years they're going to meet their mate. And that makes me sad.
Yeah, that's true.
So I like,
it should have
but
just
I
been,
don't like.
Yeah, just keep it to the 1. It was like with that, I was like, okay, this is too many.
So
and it's
many.
really unfair for the other people that don't have it. Like, I would be so bitter. I'd be like, this is bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, but and most ones I do like it.
What about Why Choose?
Okay, I don't get what that is.
It's like, it's basically like, I think it's like polyamory, or it's like, there's like there's the main connection, and then there's another connection, like a secondary connection.
No, because I'm a monogamy type of girl, so I just don't think I would be into it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like then I would be upset reading it. No.
Yeah, I think that's just...
like, fine for anyone else who...
Right, it's a preference.
Yeah.
For sure.
But no.
I know, and it's so funny because we like what we like. We obviously gravitate towards certain romantic-y books.
Yeah. And I think that's also, like, more, like, obviously just, like, backing up what you said, but, like, you like what you like, where I'm very much like, yes, I want, like, everyone wants that, not, like, soulmate type thing, but you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Fated Mates is just, like...
soulmates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's, like, what everyone wants or, like, thinks of, and not, I hope I meet 3 people that... You know, it just doesn't feel special.
And I don't believe in soulmates, but I still like the fated mates.
Yeah, it's just a nice...
And just like anything in romantasy, I don't necessarily believe that all of this is like real life, but I still like the stories.
Yeah, well, I also don't want someone to go kill a bunch of people for me, but...
What?
I love it in a book.
Oh, yes.
Love a good villain.
That man looked at me funny.
You go get him. Rot him.
You know what one I noticed too that I don't love, though I've read it a million times and I go with it, is the female character who like makes the morally great character more moral, like have like better morals, you know, and it's like she's teaching him how to be a good person because she was poor, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm on the fence about that one.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I do like fairy tale retellings. But I think because for the most part I've liked ones that I've read.
Right, there could be not so
I'm
great
sure there's
ones.
bad ones, but
yeah,
I think it's the fun way to retell things in different perspectives.
yeah, whatever.
And,
If you do it well, I'll read it over and over for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us about your drink?
I don't know.
You're not sure.
I'm really not sure. I really tried to get creative with this. And as I was making it, I was like, oh, we have so much gin, because we use gin all the time. And then I went to go do it, and there was like a little bit left in each bottle.
Did it ruin it?
You know what? I have no idea.
We'll find out.
Yeah. But I chose this because I literally just looked up cerulean drinks, because oh my god, Deadwell?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the grotto.
There's the grotto. They live in the grotto, like, and then when they're describing like the caves and stuff, it says there's this cerulean blue that goes through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got really creative in procrastination the other day and tried to make a background for the picture. I had this whole vision. I burnt myself with a glue gun. Anyways.
She actually did. She really did.
Yeah, it was really bad. The glue got stuck on my finger and it was burning and I yelled. So I first found this cerulean elixir. Supposed to do this like layered look. It didn't turn out exactly as I had hoped. Maybe I should have used a smaller glass.
I think they're liars. They're liars and they're phonies because you tried.
On a couple of them.
But it was pretty good. It was a pretty good.
Yeah, it didn't look bad. Like the color was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how it's going to taste. So anyways, I was reading it and you're supposed to put in a 1/8 teaspoon of the blue powder.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it said 1/8 cup. So I scooped a bunch of it out, but I don't know.
Jeez.
So it's spirulina powder, freshly squeezed lime juice, clear gin, simple syrup, purple gin, which is just like the Empress gin, so it's butterfly pea infused gin. And then there was supposed to be 2 dashes of lemon bitters, but we don't have any in town. I ordered some, didn't come in time. So I ended up using Campari, which I looked up and it said was a good one to use if you don't have any lemon bitters. So I'm kind of terrified for this.
Jamie, you're supposed to redeem yourself in the cocktail countdown.
I know it's not going well. I did try and get creative at least, though.
Yes, it is a deep blue, and I expect my teeth to be blue after this. Cheers! Okay.
It doesn't taste bad. I was really expecting bad. I feel like it would taste good with a little club soda. Okay, but there is too much of that stuff in it because it kind of gets an aftertaste. At first I was like, oh, it's okay.
It's gin, lemon juice.
Gin, again.
Uh-huh.
2 different types of gin. Lime juice. Simple syrup.
I feel like that's a theme for you.
Spirulina.
There is an aftertaste.
Yeah, there's too much of that stuff in it.
But, I mean, gin, citrus, and simple syrup is a good combo.
Yeah.
That's a good drink.
I feel like I would like it more if it wasn't that. Did you get a big chunk of it?
No, I just choked on it.
Oh, okay. So...
Well, it's beautiful in blue. That's what matters. What's the name of it?
I was, at one point I was gonna just call it I'm Fine. No?
So creative with your names. I would have just called it Deadwell.
That was my original. Deadwell. I was like, I'm fine. What was the other one I had? Something about weakness. Yeah. So, my names, I tried to be creative, what it looked like, everything, but the actual drink, not so much.
Well, it's beautiful and blue, and I love gin and citrus, so I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm doing okay. What would you rate it?
Okay, 6.
A 6.
It has too much of that powder in it.
You'd rate this better than my Revenge?
What was your... Didn't I rate that 6.5 or something?
You give
I was
it a
going to
5.
say 6.30.
You give it a 5. Oh, can we update about that drink?
Okay.
The Revenge drink? Because you, before we went into it, I said to you, I don't know if these are the right proportions.
Right.
Because I was trying to double the recipe for us, because there's 2 of us, and I was talking to you, and then when we were coming down to record, I was like, I don't
Like, I don't think I did
I'm
that
not
right.
sure if I did that right.
Yeah.
And then it was super citrusy.
Yes.
So then after, days later, I remade it at home, and it tasted completely different.
Oh.
I told you this.
I have a lot going on right now.
It tasted completely different, and it did taste like a fully rounded drink. It still wasn't my favorite, though.
Oh. Well, at least it tasted better.
Yeah. Like, the sherry wine was very, nutty.
Right,
I told you, it tasted very,
okay.
amaretto-y, the drink.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very citrusy at all. So very obviously I put way too much citrus in it when we tried it. But regardless, it's just don't trust us with making drinks lately.
No.
We'll do better.
Oh my god.
I will give this a 4.5.
Yeah, it's probably what I should have given it.
But I did want to give the update for the Revenge one just because it was
yes.
I'm not saying it should be a higher rating, even though.
But just so that you know.
It is a fully rounded cocktail that is okay, no, this makes sense. This is a good recipe.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my taste.
Yeah.
Well.
The pictures are going to be great, I promise.
You did arts and crafts.
I did do arts and crafts.
A+. Okay, let's get into Glow. I was nothing but a road to Midas, a means to get where he wanted to go, and I paved that path in gold.
My life has been made up of gilded lies, but death has been shaped from rot.
Like a phoenix caught fire, I will need rise from the ashes and learn to wield my own power, because my wings may have been clipped, but I am not in a cage. And I am finally free to fly from the frozen kingdoms I've been kept in.
Yet the world doesn't want to let me.
That's the thing when you turn against a king, everyone else turns against you.
Good thing I have a different king in my corner.
But even with the dark threat of Slade Ravager, the other monarchs are coming for me.
So I will fight for him, and he will kill for me. And if we need to become the villains, then so be it.
Because so long as I live in this world, I won't be used again.
Da, da, da.
And what's our...
Another great one. To those who stand on their own 2 feet despite their stumbles. Tattoo number 30.
Get back up again.
Okay, so we open up with Queen Kayla.
Yes.
Ooh.
My note for this opening was, ooh, bitch.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. That's all I have to say because
I have eye roll.
Okay. Same page.
Yep.
She's getting her power. She's doing it like all the monarchs do, which I do like that it's a lady, like a female
Mm-hmm.
queen who is getting all the power rather than someone like Midas. And that's my bias, is I want women to take over the world.
Same.
So I like that about Kayla, where
Yeah.
she is using her assets and she's using, the parts of where women would be rejected as a leader, things like being too emotional or whatever. Like, she's using her femaleness to get ahead,
Yes.
which is like a pretty...
You're a very smart woman. I will give you that.
She knows
Yeah.
that she needs to play it like her she needs to be kind and like empathetic in those ways, but not show the emotional side where people could be like, oh, she's hysteric, all those
oh my God, she's hysterical.
Those things
Get her
that
to a
we
hospital.
say about women that sort of put them down and make people think that they can't lead. Like, she knows how to play it, right?
The one thing that made me upset, though, because I'm like, she is very smart.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's thinking about, like, the Midas thing, like, when Miss comes out. It's like, Auren tricked him. I'm like, shut up, Mouse.
Yeah.
Idiot. I'm so mad.
Stupid idiot pregnant lady.
She's just mean, also. And, like, Kayla's, like, thinking about it. She's like, well, no, he gilded the whole ballroom before the thing, and then I saw him gild, like, the table, but I was like, but you also saw that Auren was sitting right beside him, and I remember the first time I read the book, and, like, this time again, I'm like, you're smart, where even this time when I was reading it, I'm like, oh, but she's also going to think that, even if she ignores it, which I get why she would,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, she didn't even think that. And I was like, but Auren was sitting right beside him. The only time you ever saw him do it, she was sitting right there.
I agree.
So you didn't actually see him do it because you didn't see his, like, it just, it was.
You know, I think in reading it again, there is like a sliver of her wording that makes me think that she could fathom the possibility.
Yes.
Or maybe that she does, but she doesn't allow herself to go there.
Because it's not the narrative that she needs.
Yeah. And I might be making that up in my own head.
I'll call Raven and ask her and see what she says.
Does Kayla consider this idea, or is she just trying to convince herself of the narrative that works for her?
Yeah.
For sure.
And then just, how they're like, Auren can steal magic from people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, you don't want her. And I was like, if she could steal magic from people,
wouldn't she have
taken something better, number one, and not had herself locked in a cage? Like, really think about that. I'm like, it really doesn't add up. But I think, again, also, that's not what's going to work for them and what they need. I think, like, her brother really, like, doing it. I don't think he 100% believes it.
No, he's just going with what's best for Kayla.
Yeah, which I think is a lot of it. But it's just, like, so infuriating because I'm like, you guys, are you for real?
And then we learn that she calls for a royal conflux.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, Arnold.
Yeah. Which sounds like it's fun.
It's not.
No, it's not.
So we don't know in the first half, like, what that entails, but basically it's like, I think, like, all the
some sort of trial.
Kings and queens coming together to, like, hey, this woman is a tyrant.
She's a monster.
Aside from that, Manu was really funny at the funeral, though. I know that we're not supposed to like them, but, like,
no,
I did like him chirping all of the funeral activities.
Yes.
Like, oh, they're singing really bad.
Yeah. Why is this outside?
Why is it so boring? Why do we have to look at this dead body? Oh my God.
Like,
oh, finally, let's get out of here.
Yeah, and then I think she says something about, like, the dead body or something. He's like, I would never do that to you, or I would never let you look like that, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was humorous.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah. Are we just going to go into Drollard Village?
Sure. Okay, I didn't know if we should leave this for the second half, but I know lots happens in the second half, so let's talk about this now. Would you live in... Were we calling it...
We're calling it Deadwell.
Is that right?
I don't know.
Why were we calling it that?
Maybe that's, like, the area? He's taking her to... No, Deadwell.
Okay, then that's
Deadwell
the area.
Is the closest option I have. Get the dark fantasy philosophy. Okay, so that's like the area.
Okay.
And then,
Okay,
hang
I thought
on.
it was,
I'm literally just like looking it up on Kindle.
Yeah, I thought I was losing it.
Okay, so yeah, Deadwell's like, yeah, what we just said. Okay, so we're good.
So is your drink called Deadwell or Drollard Village? I feel like Deadwell sounds better.
Deadwell does sound better.
Okay, so Drollard, is that how we say it? Drollard Village?
Drollard Village.
Would you live there?
No, I would visit.
100%. That was a quick no. That was a quick no.
Not.
Why not?
It seems very cold.
Oh, it is very cold, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would visit. I feel like it would make a cute little Airbnb spot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at this cool cave you can stay in.
Yeah.
I would go stay there for a couple days or something, but I would not live there.
Okay.
It sounds very cute. Would probably also make a cute, like, Christmas Hallmark place, maybe. Like a spicy Hallmark one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to go have sex in the pools in the cave.
So you have to? Is that mandatory?
Yeah, it's pretty
You're
much.
not allowed.
Yeah.
You're not allowed in.
If you have a lover with you,
you're not allowed to do it in your bed.
No, must go to one of the pools.
It must be public.
Oh no, you can do it privately. That's fine.
Yeah, I think I would I would live there for a few years. I would.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
As I get older, the less I like the sun.
Actually, same.
I'm becoming what do you call it? A vampire? I'm becoming a vampire.
I'm just more of like fall weather, preferably temperature, that kind of temperature. But I don't want like extreme snowstorms where I'm stuck in a cave for like a week.
Yeah, that's true. That's too much.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like that year round though. But I did like
we will ask Raven.
I did like the little party they had though.
Yeah.
Where like Lou and Auren got to go and they and it's like there's a what do you call it?
Like a pavilion, right?
What's a pavilion?
No, that was from the earlier thing.
But like the cave is sort of the mountain creates like a roof like at least half into it.
Yes.
Like I do like those vibes for a party,
which seems like a great vacation.
And then you got some meat on the fire. You got some wine.
Yes, that did seem very cute. I'm looking up a pavilion.
Everyone's got their fur coats on.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone gets a little bit of wine in them. They take off their fur coats and then they just have their long johns, right? And they got the starry sky and
if the weather's nice.
That sounds wonderful.
Yes.
And then, you go in the hot springs.
Yeah. Again, sounds like a nice spot to visit.
Okay, well,
I would visit you when you
go there for a few years after college.
Yeah.
We're way past that point. Yeah. Let us dream.
I mean, you did move to Sea Lookout.
Don't do it. They have no hot springs.
They'll tell you they do.
Liars. Anyway. My other note for Drollard Village is that Auren's getting a strange feeling about everybody.
Yeah.
And so I liked that.
You liked her strange feeling?
Yeah, I just thought like it was a good story point where she's like, what? Why are these people all weird? And why is Hojat weird? Like she noticed
I did like that part.
Hojat is using the word healer and not mender. And so she knows because that's I can't find my words today.
Fae term?
Yeah, like a Fae term.
Yeah. Rather
than an Orien term. So she's like, oh, okay. Why? Because he trained in Drollard Village. Mm-hmm. Even though he's from, I don't know what part of Auren, but I think it's from Second Kingdom. Or something like that. Yeah,
but I do...
But she notices, like, okay, in Drollard Village, they use the word healer.
Yeah.
But she's getting these clues where it's like, whoa.
It's like a little other side mystery kind of thing. Like,
I like that.
Why is this happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, agreed.
Okay, let's talk about Auren. And I know this whole story... Not the whole story is about Auren.
Wait, let me turn to my Auren page first.
Okay.
But how Slade's talking about how, like, the rot won't come out of her, like, won't come back to him. It kind of reminds me of her ribbons. How they were so attracted to Slade and would constantly, like, just want to wrap around him and, like, not leave him. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like his rot is almost doing the same thing, because he mentions like how he's like pulling and pulling, but it's just like refusing, that like it doesn't want to leave her. So like if you think about it like that, it's kind of like a cute thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's like their magic is attracted to each other.
Yeah. Just want to throw my thought out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, we can continue.
Oh, so the Lou and Slade
Yes,
quote.
okay.
Do you want to be Lou or Slade?
Oh, I'll be Slade.
Okay. She's gonna wake up, you know.
You sound sure.
That's because I am. You took my belligerence and tossed a uniform in my face. You met Osric's kill drive and decided to give him your sword. You saw every jail cell that couldn't hold Judd, and instead of tossing him in another one, let him keep the keys. This time you found your goldfinch and watched her leave her cage. She'll open her eyes, just like you got the rest of us to do.
This is a little more lateral. I fucking rotted her.
We've all got a little rotten in us. I wouldn't change that for a thing. It's how I survived.
Oh, I'll have a little bit of rot in me.
That voice, though. Scary. But Lou is the voice of reason in all of this.
She is. A lot of the times in this book, she is.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like the main characters are... There's like one or the other that's sort of the voice of reason, but I like that Lou gets to have her little interludes and be like, hey, this is what's up, Slade, you moron.
Yes. I feel like he is a voice of reason a lot of the time.
I guess they all have their moments, though, and maybe that's like the balanced nature of all these characters that I kind of like, too, because Osric has his moments, too, right?
Yes. Even Judd.
And Judd, yeah.
Where it's like... in places where he might be like lacking and not able to see things, they're there to kind of be like, no, hey, I'll take your rot.
Yeah. What a good friend, though.
Yes.
I love that. Okay. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we get dark?
Okay, so when she is like avoiding, when she first kind of wakes up.
Yeah.
Which are we going to talk about when she actually wakes up at some point? Because that's more of like her and Slade, I guess.
I don't think I wrote anything about it. I didn't.
Okay. So anyways, like when she's avoiding, and then he's like, Auren like kept trying to talk to her, and they go back, and she's like, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna come inside, and then she says she'll make dinner, and she does not know how. Like absolutely has no idea what she's doing, and it's just a really funny part, and like puts it down, and they're all trying to eat it, and then she's like eating it, and then finally she's like, okay, you can all stop pretending for my sake. And Judd's like, thank fuck, my tongue is so confused right now.
Well,
it was a really like humorous part, and she's like, well, we have wine.
Yeah, drink the wine. But Auren, like, I know that rice is a simple dish, but it's not a simple dish.
No.
I feel like a lot of people who cook for themselves daily don't know how to make rice.
Yeah?
Make rice right. I should clarify.
Yeah, okay.
Make it right.
Yeah, it's tough.
Do you know how to do it?
I thought I did. Do I? I don't know.
Do you rinse your rice?
No.
Jamie.
Do I? I haven't made rice in so long. I don't know. I follow recipes.
Exactly.
Okay, please tell us how to make rice.
You rinse your rice because that's what gets the starch out. Because if you have too much starch in it, then it's sticky. But it depends what you're trying to make. Are you trying to make sticky rice? Are you trying to make rice balls? And yeah, keep the starch. But if you're trying to make a rice dish with some peas and some eggs and maybe a protein, that sounds good to me. You could make that good.
But isn't that like people are like, oh, you have to wash your pasta, but you're not supposed to wash your pasta.
Wash your pasta?
There's
Who's
like
washing their pasta?
Things on TikTok that I've seen.
Why?
Where like people make it, they're like, and don't forget to rinse your pasta. And everyone in the comments is like, do not rinse your pasta.
Is that for bacteria or for starch?
I don't know. I don't think they know.
Okay.
Anytime I don't eat rice a lot, even though I do have it upstairs because I did buy it today.
It's just about texture.
Yeah, I don't know. I just follow recipes when I make it.
And then I'm sure like there's different types of rice. Anyway,
so
Auren, I'm so sorry you don't know these things. But it was a little bit far-fetched where I'm like, Auren, did you smell the spices? Did you smell and taste the spices before you put it on? It felt like she was...
But I feel like she never cooked.
She was chaotic. She was like...
Yeah.
It's like, taste and smell the spices, Auren.
But I feel like if you've never
done it... I don't... I get how she got there.
Yeah.
But
you're just telling her.
This is me as I'm reading it, where I'm like, taste it. Does it taste? Do you like that spice? Okay, put a little bit, mix it in, taste it. There was none of that. So that was very difficult. That was a very difficult, and I know there's a lot of difficult scenes in this book, but that was the most difficult, as someone who does like to cook, was listening to Auren trying to cook. That is...
Okay, well, I meant for this to be like a funny scene.
That's number one.
Okay.
Number one most difficult scene in these books was Auren cooking. Yeah. That's a joke.
Okay. We can get dark now.
Okay, let's get dark. The scene where she finally lets Hojat tend to her wounds, tend to her ribbons, was really hard.
Yes. And that Digby was the one that got her to do it.
Because he was there when it happened. That with Slade, she could turn away, she could pretend more easily.
Mm-hmm.
With Digby, he was there, he saw it, she knows that he knows.
Yeah, like he really didn't even have to say much. It was just them looking at each other, and then she pretty much was just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
This was an awful, awful scene. Great writing.
I really liked, though, like when we think of trauma, especially to this extent, when you do come to face it, you need to be with safe people.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's like finding people in your life. It's like finding a helping professional, but like finding a safe person that you can like turn to and deal with it with is like so crucial. And I think Auren's example of this with Digby and Slade and Hojat was wonderful.
Yeah, and I think even pretty much like at the end of the scene, she says something like, I may have nothing, something, but she's like, but I have them, like referring to Slade and Digby.
Yeah, because, yeah, like she looks to Slade and she says his eyes never leaving mine, never straying down my spine, because she asked him not to.
Yeah.
Right? And then she looks to Digby, standing guard at the door like he's done my whole life. And then Hojat guiding her through it, saying, all right, Lady Auren, I'm starting now. Right? Like giving her notice before he does something, before he touches her.
Can I read the first one you have?
Uh-huh.
It's right here, right in this moment, that the pent-up sob finally tears past my lips. My stopper's yanked out, and there are no denials, no I'm fines. There isn't a cave in the world that's deep enough for me to hide away from this.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a very good description, I think, of when something happens and then you finally just feel like, okay, I'm letting it all out. And she did. And it just sounded so awful. It was so sad. So sad.
It was so sad, but I also felt kind of happy in that moment, because it's like the only way that you can get through it is to go through it.
Yeah.
And obviously she had not been ready to turn to it. She had been avoiding it. But, like, you can't go over it. You can't go under it. You got to go through it. And so she did that. And she had all the guys with her that she felt okay with, that she felt safe with.
Yeah, to go through that. And, like, to, I think, express yourself in that way in front of them is so vulnerable, too. To just cry like that, how she was, like, describing it.
Yeah, it felt very cathartic, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say a quote that I really liked that I think is in the same vein.
Okay.
Maybe none of us truly know our strength, not until the world has hacked away at us, but the point is we aren't strong because of our trauma. We were always strong to begin with. We just needed to figure it out for ourselves. And so this is after she's done some of that healing with her back, and she's like, I don't want to be weak.
Yeah.
I want to be strong. But she also notes, it wasn't that I wasn't strong. It's that, you know, you just needed to realize that within yourself, that you always had that. There was just forces making that not present. So you're not weak. It's just you had circumstances that didn't allow you to go there, which is, I think, a really good distinction, because I think sometimes the saying, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, can be really inspiring to some people. It could be really annoying to other people, because it's like,
I feel like that's a bit that I've never been a huge fan of that phrase.
Because, like, some people do experience trauma and fucked up things, and it doesn't make them stronger, and that doesn't actually is not a reflection on their character.
Yeah.
So I think her clarification in this is just like, you didn't, there are other forces. And so she's actually in a circumstance where she can start to realize her strength because she's with Slade and everyone else.
Yeah. Agreed. Do you want me to read the quote for you to explain it?
Sure.
Okay. So another quote you had down, I had one about, she said something about like trauma to the body and mind and how it's different. But I think we kind of, just pretty much like talked about that. But I do like this one. She says, I've always been more passive in life. I think passivity is often mistaken for weakness. Really, it's just a different way to cope, to survive. The safest way I learned to react to a situation was to endure, to let things blow over, to please, to peacekeep, to constantly regulate my own reactions and thoughts and emotions so that the tyrant could be appeased into a lesser form of abuse.
Right, so Auren said this about herself as a victim of abuse. But I was reading it as someone who hadn't experienced what Auren had experienced, but could still relate to it, because I think it is actually a woman experience.
Yeah.
Right? Where I think in general, if we think of like women's oppression, like we all feel this to a lesser or larger extent, where we have an instinct where we don't even know where it comes from to make ourselves smaller.
Yes.
To make it look like we don't have needs, or to not rock the boat, or to manage yourself in order to manage the reactions of other people.
Yeah.
As though like other people's reactions and feelings are solely your responsibility, rather than it being like collaborative. Right? So like when you're like friends with somebody, or like you're in a relationship with somebody, like the way that they feel and whatever that's not yours.
Even I feel like in like simpler situations it's like that too, like just dealing
like what
like a day-to-day thing. If you're like, I'm at a wedding and I have to deal with a manager or something, and even I find myself, I know if it's like an older male manager, I now like I'm more aware of it
for sure, but
would all of a sudden be like more complicit and be like, yeah, okay, that's fine, and instead of being like, no, this and this and this.
Yeah.
But once you realize, so I think it's in so many situations, it's just like an automatic.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's not just like the closer relationships you have. It's just like any sort of interaction that you automatically adjust, rather than, it being, again, like collaborative. Like I will be considerate of you, but it is not my responsibility to like take everything on. Yeah. I liked that, like, that this book, not this book, but this series, even though it is like a series of Auren rising from the ashes and it's like an abuse story, it is still relatable in so many ways to other people who haven't experienced those things. Yeah.
Yes, I 100% agree. I think, there's so many variations in parts of this where it's very relatable. Anyways,
she finally gets her drinking game with
Digby. Oh, I know, I wrote that down. I was so excited. It's like, drinking game! And Kate, right before that, but I love how he, like, they have the really sweet conversation, and he says, like, no, I could have retired a long time ago, but I didn't. And I'm like, Digby! Yeah. And then they play a drinking game, and then they cheers to Midas being dead. It's a really great moment.
I do like how he admits, though, like, I should have done more, because that was one of my issues with Digby. Yes. And getting on board with him was like, okay, you're looking over her and whatever, and you're trying to protect her, but it's like, she's she's obviously a victim in a cage, but she never, even if you tried to escape with her, she never would have done it. But there is that part of you that's like, okay, but were you so much of a protector? So I like that Digby just at least acknowledged, like, I wish I could have done more.
Yeah.
Seeing what was happening.
Yeah.
And at least the gesture, even though we know that it wouldn't have worked.
No, it would not have worked at all.
Yeah.
But I did really love that just moment with them. Oops.
We do get Carneth Village, and I don't know that if I have anything to say about Carneth Village.
No, I really liked Millie. That's about it.
Yeah, that was devastating, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when her gold first comes in, and it's just awful. And
I guess you get to see that there's likely people in Aurea that are more familiar with Fae that are not...
Because her reactions to, like, oh, you got ribbons coming out of your back, and that was it. Like, it wasn't... And then I think she said something else about her being all gold, and then that was it. Like, it wasn't really anything.
And the same thing with Hojad, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's some people who just are not fazed by it, which makes you think, okay, are these people... I don't know. Is there other Fae? Or are they just, like, really familiar with it?
Yeah.
Like, what... Obviously, really sad and devastating, and
then right after that, that's when Midas comes and, quotes, saves her.
And she's
after
in a
that
really
traumatic experience.
Spot.
Yeah.
But she's triggered again with the stuff that happens to the castle, which Slade eventually gets out of her. That it isn't just about that situation. You've done this before, that it's...
and I killed all these innocent people, and...
Yeah.
So yeah, we do finally learn about that, and... Shitty, sad story, but also makes you, again, like, understand her more. Okay. Slade and Auren?
Mm-hmm. Slade and Auren. One of the scenes, like, when he's tying her boots.
God, yes. Can I do one before that happens?
Yeah.
It is when she first, like, comes to, and then she's, like, wants to be punished, so she's like, have sex with me and punish me. And he, like, realizes, like, what's happening. But I just thought it was funny, like, in between this sex scene, they're having, like, the deepest conversation, which I just commented, and I was like, this is one of the deepest sex conversations ever.
Huh?
Because he's just like, never give up, and, like, they're having this talk, but they're also having sex at the same time. Oh. I'm just like, okay. This is really confusing. I just wanted to reference that. We can now talk about the boots.
Yeah, this has never happened. I don't... But anyway, the boots. Yeah, just when he was doing up those boots. I was like, could someone do up my boots?
I know.
Someone do up my boots.
And she wakes up and he's, like, in the room, and then she realizes, like, he's sleeping in there with her. She's, like, all surprised, and he's like, where else would I be if not with you? I'm like, yeah, Auren, where else would he be?
Well, obviously he's gonna...
Like, obviously, yes, he's staying with you. But I was just like, Oh, and another thing. When she's talking about when she snapped, and she was just like, there was something inside of me that just snapped open. And then Slade's like, and it was fucking glorious.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, like, he's such a cheerleader. Like, you go, girl!
But one of the things that's eating him up is not saving her. Right? So those days where...
Yes.
Her ribbons...
Oh, I hated that.
All of that. And he's super sad, so he's like... He needs to address it with her, which is like... Good for you that you're like... This is bothering me, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and then he's just like, ask me.
Okay. Auren says, you didn't fail me. That was on me for so many years. Would it have been easier, more painless for me if you'd shown up? Yes. But the truth of the matter is I needed that final straw. I don't regret it because I needed to snap. I needed to find my edge.
But I should have...
No, I needed to do that for myself. No one rescuing me. No one fighting my fight. It had to be me. Do you understand? I had to be the one to save myself.
True. So this was after their where were you conversation where she finds out where he was.
Yeah, where she's like, good, I'm glad that it didn't happen that way in hindsight,
Yeah.
because like many other people in those types of situations can understand, people can sure do the things or say the things, but you have to find the end of your line where you have to be the one to,
Yeah, it can't
to
be
sort
someone
of,
else doing it for you.
yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of Slade's backstory. I mean, I had said I thought I was going to be bored with this book.
Even though the first time around, I knew I like wasn't, and I did it. I think I was at first,
yeah,
like, oh, like whatever, but no, not bored at all.
Yeah, exactly. The first time I was reading it too, I was like, oh, I'm getting Slade's backstory, and then I ended up at the end of the book being like, I loved that part of the story so much.
I really like how it starts. As we go back, there's this bird that he's watching, and that kind of like comes up continuously. Obviously, like, you think of Auren.
That he's really good with birds.
He's
Yeah,
so good with birds, and he's like, don't worry, like, you'll fly soon, or something like that. And just how he like takes care of this bird. Also, just how he like takes care of his mother. Like, it's very.
And then we get to Drollard Village, and he has that scene with the hawk.
Yes,
And he's really good with the hawk. Yeah, and they're
And
just
the-
attracted to him.
the thing he flies, like, I know Auren's not a bird, but
No, but
just
goldfinch.
Yeah, but just how he's very much taking care of this bird, and be like, you'll fly okay someday. I'm just like, little, like, I think he's 5 when that first scene happens.
He's 8.
Oh, I thought he was 5 for the first one.
No, he's 8 and Riot's 3.
Still cute.
Still cute.
Yeah.
And then his power manifests really early, which just shows how powerful he is.
Yeah, and it comes out when he sees his father abusing his mother. And I think I just had a bunch of sad faces, and I was like, it just makes me sad for like that little boy that he had to see that.
And obviously there's a theme of like him being his mom's protector.
Yeah, and riots as well.
Yeah. I think we'll get to know some more of his magic and his rot, because that's one of his dilemmas is, I don't want to be like my dad.
Yeah.
He's the breaker, and so the rots things, it ruins things. And so how his like evolving relationship with his power, and not thinking of it as something that destroys rather than it being something that protects.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think his mom, I really liked her.
I feel like her response is everything. Anytime he
Right.
said anything were really good.
Yeah.
I do like the one you have here too.
Okay, so Slade says, but I'm weak. My magic only comes out when I'm feeling emotions. And Father says that's wrong.
You are not weak. You don't have to be cruel to be strong. You don't have to be mean to seem brave. You don't have to look down on others in order to stand tall. Having emotions does not mean you're weak. It means you are smart enough to let yourself feel. Every person should say that to their child.
And then she goes on to explain that he's not measured by that. So he's not measured by what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
That she's proud of who he is and who he will be, and that like simply himself is enough. Which I think is the opposite of like what a lot of us get in terms of just our value.
Yeah.
In society at large, like what you can give, what you can do for others, like your role or your title or whatever it is. And so his mom is just like, no, like you, like your heart, like that's what matters.
Yeah.
Like your rot and what you can do in terms of strength, that's separate.
That's not who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did really love the scenes between him and his mom when he was young. I think it really just shows like their relationship, but also like him at like the core of who he is. Yeah. And the scenes with Riot as well, and seeing more of that that relationship, and then how it's also progressed.
Well, and then the present day, and how there's a lot of tension with Riot and Slade.
Mm-hmm. And then also just Slade, I think near the end of how he does say he wants to train to be strong for his mother. Like, that's why he's doing it with his father.
Mm-hmm.
So that eventually he can take her away from there one day. Like, that's his main focus.
Which feels similar to Auren. Like, both of their...
Mm-hmm. And then we do know Allure, that's his mother. She is Auren, and she's I'm going to say everything wrong. Diviner. And, yeah, you said his stats breaker. And then we find out that he broke the bridge, Lemuria.
Oh, that's a
bridge.
really good, not good, but that's...
It's a really good thing that happened.
That's not really good, but really important that his dad played such a crucial role in something that was huge for the war in Aurea, and that he was a part of that. He was part of the one that or if not all, the person that broke that bridge.
Yeah.
That severed those ties.
Very close with the king.
Yeah. So his dad is an important guy.
Yeah. And he's an asshole.
He is an asshole.
And the uncle's an asshole. The friends they have over are assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do learn at the end of the book that Rip made a rip in the world.
Yes. And we meet his mother.
And we meet his mother. Like that. Those are the end scene. No, sorry. I shouldn't say that's not the end of the book. That's the end of our part.
Yeah, just
that's the end
parts.
of our part one.
That is not the end of the book.
That's the end of our... It could be an end of a book. She could have split it up more.
Yeah, that's true.
But that is the end of our part one, which is meeting Slade's... We're not to talk about this yet. We're just talking about this now. But we meet Slade's mom and we learn about the rip.
Yes, because she overhears Slade and Riot talking and saying her, and she thinks he has some girlfriend or whatever. They piss me off. They're like walking to go up there. And he's like, just stay calm. He said something else.
Okay, I thought that was ridiculous.
Right? I was like, okay, but
you could have easily just said those words. Just stop.
Tell her why she has to be calm.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then we walked in silence. I'm like, oh, you didn't want to just maybe mention why she has to be calm?
Just why don't you just
or
say it?
Or be like, don't mention Faye.
Yeah.
Don't do this. She doesn't like loud talking.
Yeah.
You could have... You fully had time to prepare her more for that moment.
Yeah.
I was annoyed with that the first time. Annoyed with it again. But I was still like, oh, I was not expecting it to be his mother. Yeah, so his mother does not speak. She does not age, apparently.
Well, because she...
We don't know why yet.
Anyway, do you want to talk about Risa and Osric?
Sure do. Okay, what do you have?
I liked that Risa is really trying not to like Osric. It makes me really happy.
Yeah.
She says, "What the hell's wrong with me? I absolutely refuse to be attracted to this man. I refuse. I have been with countless beautiful men that looked like sculptures. They were so pretty. Men that bathed regularly. So why every time I leave my tent are my eyes looking around for him?"
And he calls her Yellow Bell.
Oh.
Love a nickname. Nickname trope. Is that a trope?
We get started.
Right? I love nicknames. It's so cute.
My notes for this one were, I love this whole chapter, and take notes from Osric.
Yep. I 100% agree.
He's such a sloppy man that creates tension, and
it's
great. Like
he's
he doesn't know what he's doing, but he does know what he's doing, and I'm just like, I felt like Risa in these chapters where I was like, I'm also turned on, and what's happening? Why?
I'm gonna read my favorite part.
Okay.
And it's just, here, sit. I blame it on the fire that I obey. It has nothing to do with the way my stomach tightens at his gruff order. Nothing to do with the way his leathers hug his tree trunk thighs.
Tree trunks.
Love it. I love some tree trunk thighs. You tell me to sit by this fire with your big beard and your hairy body.
And give me mulled wine.
Ugh, right? Yes. I will do it. It sounds like my perfect man.
And importantly, I already gave us mulled wine.
You did. So that drink was taken from me.
And I could not remember, or I did not remember that mulled wine showed up in these chapters. Obviously, because this was before we had a podcast, I was reading these books and I didn't care
what they were drinking.
But, yeah, you're welcome.
Yes,
You're welcome that I already gave us the mulled wine that I predicted that the fourth army would want to drink.
More importantly, they do kiss.
They do kiss. It was hot.
And she initiates it.
Yes, it was,
so good. Another side note, she talks about the chamber pot and like going to empty it, like that scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why don't we call toilets chamber pots anymore? Can we start that? It sounds much lovelier.
We for sure can.
Just going to the chamber pot.
You should get a sign over your toilet that says, "Welcome to my chamber pot."
That's not a bad idea. I might have to do it. But I really enjoyed that. I'm like, that sounds so pretty.
I like how he peeked into her chamber pot.
Right? He just does not give a shit.
He's chaotic.
Yeah.
Chaotic energy and yet calming energy.
Right?
He's a real mix. He's a real yin-yang.
I just want him to like pick me up and hold me, but then also make out with me.
Right. But also have your own tent, because you probably smell like farts.
I don't even care.
Alright. Sure.
Give me some of that wine. I'll be okay.
Okay, at the end of all of this, I have Melina, and I don't know that I care yet. There was, like, the big thing where she got to Seventh Kingdom, and then it was, like, a castle, and then it was unveiled that, oh, wait, it is a real castle.
Yes, there's a castle, and there's these, like, twins there.
There's Friano and Faso.
Friano and Faso.
Friano and Faso. And, oh, you're gonna save the Seventh Kingdom. And Melina's like, what the fuck? She's like, I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have to go along with this.
This is what's happening.
This is happening, because she literally has nowhere else to go, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
I know it's probably not supposed to be funny, but...
It is. A little bit. And anyways, yeah, Rip made a rip in the world.
Yeah.
Found that out.
Yeah. And so, in part 2, we're going to talk about how that happened.
Yeah. And he doesn't rip people's heads off, apparently.
No.
It's time for casting call.
Okay. Okay, so who's your riot?
Noah Centineo.
Okay. So who is my Xaden Ryerson?
Oh, right. Yes.
He's my Xaden Ryerson.
Yeah.
From Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
But you don't even have a rip.
Nope. I kind of found like one guy where I'm like, oh. I was like, I hope someone goes for my phone, because I took like 5 screenshots of this random man. I was like, okay, I'm kind of...
Who is that?
I don't even know his name. John Cortagernia?
Is he a random man from the internet, or is he an actor?
I think he's like an actor or a model or something. Pedro Pascal knows him, so... But I feel like if he had like darker, longer...
So he's your rip?
This is like the first one where I was like, okay.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I felt like in my mind, like Slade has really strong angular like features. Do you know what I mean?
I think, yeah, in his rip form, he's supposed to have that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like the closest so far that I have come to being like, okay, random man.
Okay, my riot, who I told you my rip Slade and riot pairing a long time ago, because...
And as we know, my memory sucks, so...
Which is perfect. So my riot is Logan Marshall Green, if you want to Google that.
Yeah.
Because Tom Hardy and Logan Marshall Green are lookalikes.
Oh, right. Yes! Oh my god. OC.
He's in the OC?
He's Ryan's brother. And he walks in, and that's
You don't have to say the theme song. I know what the scene is.
no, that wasn't the song. The shooting song. It's like just say.
Oh yeah. When Marissa is killed, I'm so sorry if I ruined that. No,
that's when she shoots someone. I think she shoots his brother.
Oh my god, that show is crazy.
But yes, love him.
Don't start it, but start it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst, but the best. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good combo. I'm into it.
I think it's a top-notch pick.
Yeah.
Because it is hard to find two actors that look so much alike. Where
I mean, he is
Auren
50
is
now,
like,
but...
oh yeah, you do look alike. I know. And
but look, I mean, I do the same thing, so I can't even.
When we get into Allure and Stanton, that's my issue with Faye. This is my issue with Faye books. I cannot and will not cast people who are the same age because it cannot compute in my mind.
No, same.
When we're talking about characters and then we talk about their parents and they're somehow supposed to look the same, I can't do it. I have to make the parents look a little bit older because it just does not make sense and it doesn't feel right to me.
Or even for like the love interests.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a couple things on TikTok where people talk about this and they're like, I am not going to picture a 20-year-old in my mind. Even though I know they're supposed to look like a 20-year-old, like I can't do it. And I'm like, yeah, same. Like I don't want to picture this 20-year-old child having sex. No, thank you. Right. Even though I know you're 500.
And as people who are, we are 35 plus people, I cannot, not that I cannot, but just my preference when I think of who are the actors that I'm attracted to and that I like if you think of, who do you cast as Digby again?
David Harbour.
Like people like David Harbour, I'm like, oh yeah, David Harbour is my main character.
Yeah.
But he's the Digby. But I'm sorry, but
he's also the main character.
That is who I.
You know what? He would make a pretty good rep. Or an Osric.
Yeah, it's just my taste is so much older.
Yeah.
Let's do Allure. I want you to go first.
Okay.
Because I feel like we have the same mind, and I'm wondering if you have the same.
No, I don't think you do.
Oh.
I have Katrina Belf.
Who the hell is that?
So, she is the main female character in Outlander.
I don't watch Outlander.
Second.
Are you our dad?
Hmm?
Didn't he watch Outlander?
Oh, he probably did. Okay, well, this is the younger one of her. She does look older now.
Yeah. See, I thought you were going to do Jennifer Connelly again.
Oh. No, she does. I feel like she needs to have, like, a bit of softness.
My Allure and Stanton were a pair. So, Joe Manganiello. What can I say his name?
Yes, I know who you're talking
and
about.
Sofia Vergara.
I feel like, didn't you cast them already as someone else?
I absolutely did. I absolutely casted them as Rhysand's parents.
Okay. I was like, I swear we've already had this conversation.
So we're bringing them out again. But no, my initial was Jennifer Connelly for Allure, but when I cast Stanton as Joe,
yeah,
which I think is a spot-on casting.
I do really like him as that.
That is, when I found his face again, I was like, this is exactly who I've been picturing as Stanton.
Yeah. And
Sofia Vergara is a second thought in that. I just need to put her in there because I thought it was funny. But yeah, more of a Jennifer Connelly when I think of Allure, but...
No, I feel like that is a really good Stanton.
Yeah. Who's your Stanton?
I had Billy Zane.
Oh.
Or Corey Stoll.
Who's Corey Stoll? Yeah, that's a good one. I do have Queen Kayla alternate.
Ooh.
Who I thought of later. Frida Pinto.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that. Yep, I'm into that.
And I came across her because she was in a movie with my riot, Logan Marshall Green. So when I was looking him up, I was like, oh my gosh, Frida Pinto. She would be a really good Kayla.
Yes.
It's interesting that we have these people, because next time we'll have some people too. Like there, as much as we are changing environments, we also always have new characters. So in the second half of this book, we're gonna have new characters.
Yeah.
And even when I think of Gold, there's so many new characters.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so much casting call, which feels very different when we did the ACOTAR series. Like, I feel like it really slowed down in terms of our casting and whatever. These books, like, there's so much changing and so many new people. So, there's
it's fun. I like casting people.
We're having fun. Okay, MVP.
So my MVP is Allure.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Is that your choice?
Yeah, that was definitely my initial choice.
Which I think we kind of like just talked a little bit about the reasonings, but I think just, how she's handling like her children and the things that she says to raise them to be better. And I think to just like love themselves, and I just really like love her, and she makes me want to cry a little bit.
Yeah, she sounds like a wonderful mother, and
I think just like in this situation she was put in, doing the best she can,
and then trying to also protect them.
Yeah, and making sure that they're, even though they're being brought up in this environment, that they're still going to be like good men.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear where she came from and how she grew up and how she came to be with Stanton.
Well, he talked about it a little bit.
But not much.
No.
Not much. Okay, the other MVP I'm going to give is to Lou. Because she is a support to Slade, and reminding him of all the good that he's done with the Wrath.
Yeah.
The way that he supported Lou since she was a preteen.
Yeah.
And noticing the good in her, noticing the good in Osric, noticing the good and the potential in Judd and all of them, and seeing through their behaviors and supporting them to be both good people and, I don't know, like soldiers, right? And like fully rounded people. Like he's given them opportunity.
Yes.
And then she did the same thing with Auren. Like, even bringing Auren out to Drollard Village to meet all of the people.
Yeah, like, you gotta get out of here. You can do it.
And that was not Slade telling her to do that, because he didn't know she was going to be out.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, Auren needs to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, why is she here?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she needs to
in the cave.
She took it upon herself to go, yeah, you need to. And even when Auren,
like, this is my friend Auren, and I think she needs to get out.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna do. And I also love, which we haven't mentioned because it's random, how she has like these big fuzzy slippers that she wears.
Oh yeah.
And I just think that's really cute.
Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations to Allure and Lou. Your award will be in the mail.
Okay, well, we will see you for Glow Part 2, where it all goes downhill, people. It all goes downhill. I'm sorry to spoiler alert, but if we know Raven Kennedy, she'll bring it back around. She'll bring it, yeah. It'll come back. It'll come back. It'll come back like a boomerang.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back.
Okay, bye.
Bye.